Introduction to Summoning Xuzhou from the Three Kingdoms. Xiao Ran was originally an ordinary person, but unexpectedly traveled to the Three Kingdoms period and became the young leader of the Xiao family in Xuzhou. Xiao Ran, on the other hand, prepared to create a different ending from history and unexpectedly obtained a system, summoning famous generals from history. Chapter 1, New Arrival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Front row prompt. There may be some differences between this and history. For example, the governor of Xuzhou here would be Xiao Qi, the father of Xiao Ran. There is unauthorized entry here, and it is not advisable to enter by mistake. Some characters may be born early, such as Qiao Zhang and others. Some governors will take office early. In the second year of the Guanghe reign of the Eastern Han Dynasty, 179, a 14-year-old boy from the Xiao family in Xuzhou pondered here, well, calculating the time, I didn't expect that I had been traveling for 14 years so long, but why hasn't the necessary system for the traveler come yet? The young man muttered to himself, and this young man was none other than Xiao Ran. 14 years ago, Xiao Ran unexpectedly traveled to the Xiao family in Xuzhou, compiled by himself in this book. The Three Kingdoms here were different from the history Xiao Ran knew. Firstly, his father Xiao Qi, who had never known him in this history, became the governor of Xuzhou here. In addition, after Emperor Wu of Han monopolized Confucianism during the Western Han Dynasty, the 100 schools had gradually declined and were not mentioned in history. However, here, Xiao Ran often heard others discussing the 100 schools of Confucius. Alas, although my cheap father Xiao Qi is the governor of Xuzhou, if he doesn't intervene too much, it must be similar to history. However, although Xiao Ran did not have a system here, he did not give up. Based on his past life memories, he still recruited two people, Lv Dai and Zhang Ba Ding. It has been detected that the host is ambitious and has successfully activated the system. The host properties are as follows. Name: Xiao Ran Force. 50 Intelligence. 78 Commander-in-Chief. 40 Internal Affairs. 58 Charm. 72 Summoning Value. 0. Upon hearing that it was the system, Xiao Ran was overjoyed and asked, "System, what can you do?" Ding, due to the host's ambition, summoning points can be used to summon characters from ancient times to the Qing dynasty. As the host's power increases, the system will level up and unlock more functions. The system replied, "How much summoning value does it take to summon once?" Xiao Ran asked, "Each summoning of a character will cost 1,000 summoning points, and the number of summoning points obtained will depend on the host. For example, if you win a battle with a faction, you will receive summoning points in a certain proportion. Of course, if the host triggers a historical event or changes historical events, you will also receive corresponding rewards. The initial loyalty of each summon talent is 100, but if the host does something outrageous, it will reduce loyalty points. Generally, the summon talents are divided into 3 stages, namely bronze, silver, and gold. For example, the highest level of martial arts is 110, while those with martial arts below 90 are at the bronze level, 90.105 are at the silver level, and 105.110 are at the gold level. In the Three Kingdoms region, when divided into local people, martial arts are divided into earth, heaven, and God. This translates to earth being equal to bronze, heaven being equal to silver, and God being equal to gold. And there are also some that cannot be counted by force, which are called internal forces. Internal forces are divided into Xian Xian, Di Xian, Tian Xian, He Jing, Shen Xian, Ban Bu Xing Ren, and Xing Ren. Each realm has 3 stages: early, middle, and late. If converted to force, the situation is as follows. In the early days of Xianxian, it was equivalent to 30.50 martial arts. The middle stage of Xianxian is equivalent to 50.55 martial arts. In the later stage of Xianxian, it is equivalent to a force of 55.60 in the early days of the Earth Immortals. It was equivalent to 60.7% force. The middle stage of the Earth Immortal is equivalent to 70.8% force. In the later stage of the Earth Immortals, it is equivalent to 80.95% force. The combined use of force equals 95.100. In the early days of immortality, the force was equivalent to 100.103. The mid-term divine power is equivalent to 103.107. In the later stage of immortality, the force is equivalent to 107.110. However, the attributes of half-step sage and sage far exceed those of normal force, so the system cannot display them. The only thing known is that these two far exceed 110. In this system, the highest value for intelligence, commander, and internal affairs is 105. Therefore, those below 80 are bronze, 80. 95 are silver, 95.105 are gold, and the highest charm is 110. Therefore, those below 90 are bronze, 90.100 are silver, and 100.110 are gold. If the host has nothing to check, they will be summoned 5 times for free, and the quality of the summoning will be higher than usual. And all these good things, okay, I want to summon you, said Xiao Ran. Ding, when summoning, 5 talents will be generated. Please delete 2 and the host will randomly summon them. The first talent. Yao Xing, a famous general of the Song dynasty, with a force of 106, a commander of 83, intelligence of 73, politics of 65, and charm of 81. The second talent. Zhang Kuei, the general of Xingqi in Fengshen Yanni, has a strength of 107, a commander of 85, an intelligence of 78, a politics of 51, and a charm of 85. The third talent. Baiming Youyu. Kuanpeng, a martial arts half-step saint in the later stage, commander 65, intelligence 90, internal affairs 88, charm 63. The fourth talent. Jace must repay. Jace, 105 in strength, 52 in command, 72 in intelligence, 32 in domestic affairs, 68 in charm. The fifth talent. General under Huang Chao's command in The Romance of the Tang Dynasty. Deng Tianwang, 103 in martial arts, 65 in command, 60 in intelligence, 52 in politics, and 69 in charm. Ding, it has been detected that this is the first 5 draws, and the selected characters will not betray 100%. Well, the system, I want to delete Yao Xing and Deng Tianwang, and draw from Zhang Kuei, Kuanpeng and Yazi, Xiao Ran said to the system. Of these 3 people, Kuanpeng's strength is undoubtedly the strongest. Even Xiao Ran speculated that Kuanpeng's strength might have been extremely close to the supernatural level. However, according to the records in Zhuangzi Xiaoyaoyu, there is a fish in the northern hemisphere, which is called Kuan. Kuan is so big that it turns into a bird. Its name is Peng. The back of the rock is so big that it flies in anger. Its wings are like clouds hanging from the sky. It is also a bird. The sea transportation will move to the south of the sea, the Tianqi Lake, the north of the poor. There will be the sea, the Tianqi Lake, and the fish. It will be thousands of miles wide. No one knows who cultivates it. Its name is Kuan, there are birds, and its name is Peng. Its back is like Mount Taishan Mountain, its wings are like clouds hanging from the sky, and its wings are like sheep's horns. It will be 90,000 miles high. It will cut off the clouds, negative the sky, and then it will go to the south, and it will be suitable for the south of the world. From this, we can see that Kuanpeng is powerful. In the modern novels on the system of flood and famine, Kuanpeng's strength has become a quasi-saint and a demon teacher, but in the United States and China what is insufficient is that Kuanpeng betrayed at a critical moment, so if it weren't for the fact that the generals drawn this time wouldn't have rebelled 100%, wouldn't Xiao Ran still retain Kuanpeng? Okay, host, please wait a moment. Extraction is underway. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Baiming Youyu. Kuanpeng, Peng Kuan. Implantation of identity. With intricate connections to the Yin-Yang family, he later reached an agreement with the host's father for unknown reasons and became the host's general, entrusted by the host's father to protect the host. Well, I've drawn Kunpeng. It's great to find Xuyuan www.zhaoxuyuan.com. Okay, when will Kunpeng come? I can't wait any longer, Xiao Ran said excitedly. Ding, please be patient, host. The summoned generals will arrive in the shortest possible time. After a while, I saw a man in the distance with a sinister expression on his face, which made people not want to approach him at all, fearing that there might be some calamity. The man walked straight toward Xiao Ran. At first, Xiao Ran was startled. After all, there were many enemies of the Xiao family in Xuzhou, and they might have come to take their own lives. However, with the strong man's next words, Xiao Ran's worries dissipated. The man said, General Peng Kun of the Xiao family, on behalf of the clan chief, came to protect the young clan chief. Xiao Ran was overjoyed when he heard the man verify his hypothesis. He first chatted with Kunpeng for a while, but suddenly his voice changed and he asked, General Peng Kun, what do you think of the world now? Peng Kun did not answer, his eyes fixed on Xiao Ran, as if trying to see him through, causing Xiao Ran to burst into a cold sweat. But Xiao Ran still tried to coax him and said, nowadays, bandits are gradually rising everywhere. We are fine here. At most there can be dozens of bandits, but we can't say for sure elsewhere. Although there are only bandits at present, I'm afraid this is the tranquility before the storm. Moreover, it has been more than 400 years since the great Han dynasty spread to this day. There was a Wang Mang in the middle of the first 200 years, and now it happens to be over 400 years. I'm afraid he will. As he spoke, Xiao Ran naturally lowered his voice upon hearing this. Kunpeng was momentarily stunned and then said thoughtfully, is it not that the young clan leader wants to? Kunpeng paused and then swept away his gaze, which could have made people shudder. Instead, he laughed heartily and said, the young clan leader has great ambition. I, the general of the Xiao family, Peng Kun, am willing to witness the aspirations of the young clan leader. Chapter 2, Balance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After obtaining Kunpeng, Xiao Ran prepared to strike while the iron was hot and summon a general. So far, he can walk horizontally without any problem. System, I want to summon, Xiao Ran said to the system. Ding, when summoning, 5 talents will be generated. Please delete 2 and the host will randomly summon them. The first talent. The 4 fierce beasts. Chaos, Force 107, Commander 52, Intelligence 53, Politics 31, Charm 10. The second talent. The guardian deity of the Rainbow Bridge in Nordic mythology. Heimdal, 107 in strength, 79 in command, 85 in intelligence, 72 in politics, and 88 in charm. The third talent. The 4 fierce beasts. Tao Wu, 107 in force, 52 in command, 32 in intelligence, 43 in politics, and 13 in charm. The fourth talent. Former famous general of the Liang dynasty. Suo Bao, with a force of 103, a commander of 81, intelligence of 80, politics of 70, and charm of 82. The fifth talent. Slaying immortal flying dagger. Land pressure, force 109, commander 68, intelligence 90, politics 73, charm 80. System, I want to delete Tao Wu and Suo Bao, and draw from the 3 of chaos, Himutter, and land pressure. Among the 5, Suo Bao has the weakest strength and is of course the preferred choice for exclusion. However, Tao Wu and chaos have only slightly higher strength, so Xiao Ran randomly excludes 1. Chaos is known as one of the 4 ferocious beasts, along with poverty, gluttony, and sorcery. In the Annals of the 5 Emperors, Volume 1 of the Records of the Grand Historian, the Hongshe clan of the former emperor had talented scholars who concealed their righteousness and thieves, and were fond of committing evil deeds. The world called it Chaos. Heimdal is the son of Odin, the god-king of the Asa tribe, and the 9 goddesses. Legend has it that he has golden teeth and pure white skin, so he is known as the White Asa god. He also has a keen sense of sight, with his eyes able to see 6 directions, whether day or night. He can see 300 miles away, his ears able to hear all directions, and when he lies on the ground, he can hear the hissing of grass and the sound of wool growing. Heimdal and Loki are enemies in a relationship, and they are prophesied to kill each other during the twilight of the gods. In the end, Heimdal and Loki were also fulfilled in the twilight of the gods. To perish with the same foundation when Luya appeared, he claimed to be wandering around the 5 sacred mountains and frolicking in the wilderness. He once helped King Wu defeat Zhou and assisted in teaching martial arts. Later, he retreated to the mountains and forests without any concern for human affairs. His Taoist skills were top-notch, and he possessed 2 major weapons: the immortal slaying flying dagger and the nail-headed 7-arrow book. He used the magic weapon, the immortal slaying flying dagger, to slay the leader of the flame formation, Bai Li Tianjun. He broke through one of the 10 unparalleled formations and gave the nail-headed 7-arrow book to Jiang Zia, assisting Jiang Zia in using the nail-headed 7-arrow method. He cursed Xiao Gongming, the great immortal of the martial arts, at a distance, and was later punished by the 3 Xiao sisters as a Hunyuan. Jin Do captured him and sealed his Naiwan palace with talismans, but he managed to escape successfully. After leaving the West Qi army, he disappeared without a trace. 70 times, he rushed to the West Qi army from an unknown place to stop the retreat and fought against Kong Xian, but could not decipher the 5-colored divine light. He could only transform the light and escape. He used the Zhanxian flying dagger to kill Yu Yuan, who was impervious to weapons and knives. He appeared in front of the anti-immortal evil formation and predicted that after completing the calamity of the 10,000 immortals formation, he returned to the mountain to practice and participated in the battle of the 10,000 immortals formation. He also used the Zhanxian flying dagger to kill Qiu Yin. Okay, host, please wait a moment. The extraction is underway. Congratulations to the host, who has obtained the guardian god of Rainbow Bridge. Heimdal. Bring the weapon, Bert Gen, Force +1, the famous horse, Gultope, Force +1, the special item, Galo, and Force +1. Implanted identity. Born in the Roman Empire and yearning for the East, when he arrived in the western Liang, he was besieged by the Chang army. Heimdal killed dozens of Chang soldiers alone and broke out, attracting attention from others. A noble family who had a grudge against the host's father paid a lot of money to invite Heimdal to assassinate the host's father. Heimdal readily accepted it, but was unexpectedly subdued by Kunpeng and stayed in the Xiao mansion, obeying the host's father. He is now sent to protect the host. Upon hearing that Heimdal had been selected, Xiao Ran was immediately overjoyed. Although his attributes were not as good as those of Lu Yin, they were not bad either. Moreover, there were Kunpeng and Heimdal, so he could recruit some local talents himself. Unification is just around the corner, isn't it? By the way, what does Force +1 mean? Does it mean that there will be a bonus when there are exclusive items? Xiao Ran asked. Yes, every time the host summons a warrior, most of them will bring their own exclusive items and deal bonuses to themselves, the system replied. Not long after, Heimdal arrived, and his appearance could only be described in a very white word. Moreover, even if Heimdal did not have the guarantee of loyalty in the first 5 times of the system, he would never have any ulterior motives. Such a loyal and capable tiger general would not be loved by that monarch. Ding, it has been detected that the host has continuously recruited 2 talented individuals with high military strength, starting to balance. What balance is there in the system? Xiao Ran asked with a question mark on his face. Ding, considering that the host can summon talents, in order to ensure balance, every time a historical event is triggered or someone completes a historical event on behalf of someone else, and every time 3 talents are summoned, a random balance of some talents will be created, and the balanced characters will carry some characters to be born. Balancing the first man. Tian Hu, one of the 4 pirates in Water Margin, has a strength of 83, intelligence of 60, commander of 57, politics of 43, and charm of 68 carrying characters. Xiao Daoqing, Sun and Mao Ling, Bian Xiang, Li Tianxi, Shan Shiqi, Zhongying, Dong Cheng, Zhu Jing implanted identity. Originally a hunter from Bingzhou, but bullied the weak and killed one person in the local area. He was wanted by the government, and Tian, who was subsequently demoted to banditry, balancing the second person. Wang Qing, one of the 4 pirates in Water Margin, with 80 martial arts, 67 intelligence, 54 commander. Chief, 45 politics, and 70 charm carrying characters. Li Zhu, Du Sun, Feng Tai, Yuan Lang, Teng Kan, Mi Qian, Lu Yuan, He Ji, Pan Zhong, Duan Sanyang, Duan Wu, Duan Air implanted identity. Originally a struggling scholar in Jingzhou, but had no intention of offending the local magistrate, Wang Qing had no choice but to rebel and rise up in rebellion. Unfortunately, he was defeated and turned into a bandit, balancing the third person. Fang La, one of the 4 pirates in Water Margin, with 86 martial arts, 70 intelligence, 60 commander, 55 politics, and 78 charm carrying characters. Wang Yin, Fang Jie, Si Xingfang, Shi Bao, Deng Yuanjue, Li Tianrun, Lu Yun, Su Fang, Zhen Cheng, Li Tianyu, Peng Wanchun, Jing Biao, Du Wei, Bao Daoi implanted identity. A wealthy and powerful figure in Yangzhou, who was implicated in a case and refused to bribe, was convicted on the spot and falsely accused of Fang La, and was imprisoned. Later, under the leadership of Fang Jie, he summoned people to rescue Fang La, and Fang La became a bandit, balancing the fourth person. Song Jiang, one of the 4 pirates in Water Margin, with 51 military strength, 73 intelligence, 50 commander, 71 internal affairs, and 92 charm carrying characters. Song Qing, Wu Yong, Hua Rong, Chai Jin, Li Ying, Dai Zong, Li Kuei, Mu Hong, Yang Xiong, Shi Xiu, Zhang Shun implanted identity. Originally a small official in Qingzhou, he wanted to be taken seriously but was not taken seriously. Later, he was implicated in Li Kuei's murder by mistake, so he gathered people to launch an uprising. However, he failed and had no choice but to become a bandit, balancing the fifth person. In Water Margin, Toda Heavenly King Chao Gai, find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Force 94, Intelligence 71, Commander 83, Politics 61, Charm 87 carrying characters. Wang Luan, Gong Sunsheng, Lu Tang, Ruan Xiao, Ruan Xiaowu, Ruan Xiaoqi, Bai Sheng, Du Qian, Song Wan, Zhu Gui, Zhu Fu implanted identity. Song Jiang sworn brother. Upon hearing that Song Jiang had gathered a group of people to rebel, he led a team to assist, but ultimately failed. Together with Song Jiang, they fell into rebellion. Ding, balance is over. At this moment, Xiao Ran can be said to have greeted the 18th generation ancestors of the system in his heart. Originally, with the help of the system, it was easy to pacify the Yellow Turban army, but instead, the system found a balance, which undoubtedly increased the difficulty. After summoning Kunpeng and Heimdal, Xiao Ran decided one thing, which was to prepare to go out for training. Xiao Ran's fundamental purpose was only to search for local talents in various places and accumulate strength, because once the Yellow Turban uprising broke out, it was not easy to recruit local people. Even after the Yellow Turban uprising ended, other feudal lords would gradually develop their power, and recruiting people would also be very difficult. After Xiao Ran told Xiao Qi that he wanted to go out for training, Xiao Qi pondered for a moment and said, "Ran heir, it's a good thing for you to go out for training, but being a father is just the governor of Xuzhou. It's better for you to be at home when you're outside. Anyway, since you've made up your mind, I'll send 20 attendants to protect you." Xiao Qi paused for a moment and continued, "There's also Heimdal. In theory, Peng Kuan is the safest way to accompany you, but Peng Kuan is too involved in some things and it's not easy for him to appear outside." "Well, thank you very much, father," Xiao Ran obediently replied. The next day, Xiao Ran, Heimdal, and the 20 followers set off. Chapter 3, First Battle. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Ads by Google equals window. Ads by Google. Push, there are two destinations for Xiao Ran to go to. Yuzhou and Yanzhou. As for why he can go directly to Yangzhou without crossing the Yangtze River, Xiao Ran's main concern is the balanced Fang Law. If he doesn't encounter it, it's okay. Although there is a high-ranking general named Heimdal with 107 followers, how can you fight 1,000 people coming directly from the opposite side? So Xiao Ran doesn't intend to take this risk. The same applies to other cities such as Jingzhou, Qingzhou, and Bingzhou, while Xizhou, Liangzhou, Jizhou, Yuzhou, and Jizhou do not have systematically balanced characters, but they are relatively distant. If there are any significant changes, it will be very inconvenient to return to Xuzhou, so Xiao Ran set off from Pengcheng, first to Xiangxian County in Peigua, and then to Chaosian County in Peigua. At this time, it was already late, and Xiao Ran and his group were preparing to go to a suburban inn to take a nap. They would enter the city tomorrow morning, but when Xiao Ran and his group finally found a tavern, the owner of the tavern was about to close it. This unusual move aroused Xiao Ran's curiosity, so he approached and asked, "Hello, are you the shopkeeper of this tavern?" The person nodded and replied, "Yes." Then he asked again, "How many guests are here to stay?" "That's really unfortunate. Recently, we heard that a group of bandits have arrived near our Qiao County, so we are preparing to walk into the city. A few guests should also hurry into the city. It's uncertain where the bandits suddenly came from. That group of bandits is not a big deal." The shopkeeper trembled for a moment as he spoke with kindness, then stopped talking and quickly walked towards Qiao County. After listening, Xiao Ran also prepared to walk towards the city, but due to the large number of people and varying speeds, he slowed down a bit. He just dawdled on the distance and saw that there was only a forest ahead. As long as he passed through this forest, he could reach the city. As a result, there were cries of killing nearby. Heimdal, who was accompanying him, had exceptionally sensitive ears and immediately pointed in one direction, saying, "Young leader, that's where the sound comes from." Upon hearing this, Xiao Ran looked in that direction, but unfortunately, it happened to be the only way to enter the city. Originally, Xiao Ran wanted to sneak over quietly, but now that it was over, he could only see if he could forcefully kill and pass through. Heimdal immediately said to Xiao Ran and the others, "Young chieftain, when the end of the meeting will come, the young chieftain will be in front, the young chieftain will be in the middle, and the others will be behind. If the other party is an enemy or not a friend, then protect the young chieftain and kill him." Immediately, the group arrived in the jungle, where the battle was still ongoing. There were 3 groups of people on the battlefield, one group of whom Xiao Ran could tell at a glance that their attire was appropriate for the Han army's attire. The other 2 groups of troops, one with only some stone tools and a small amount of iron tools, were probably the group of bandits mentioned by the previous shopkeeper, while the third party made Xiao Ran somewhat different. Those people were completely different from the first 2, not dressed like the Han army, but most of them had iron tools and were well trained, possibly even surpassing the Han army. The group of bandit soldiers saw Xiao Ran and his group coming, mistakenly thinking that these people were also Han soldiers. The bandit soldiers were the first and led more than 50 soldiers, hoping to resist them. Heimdal launches a skill called Sword God. Whenever Heimdal uses a sword weapon, his strength will increase by 3. Heimdal's current strength is 107, and it has been detected that Heimdal is using a sword weapon. The skill is successfully launched, and the current strength is 110, 113. System, what is this skill? At this moment, Xiao Ran, who was watching from afar, heard the system's prompt sound and immediately looked confused, so he asked the system, "Host, with the enhancement of this system, all characters will acquire skills, but there are also different effects. For example, ordinary weapon skills are available to everyone, and the effects only increase their strength. However, some other items have left a heavy mark in history, so they will have some new skills and their effects will be more." After hearing the system answer his question, Xiao Ran stopped speaking and quietly watched the battlefield. Ding, He-Man activates the skill, Knife General. Whenever He-Man uses a knife weapon, his strength will increase by 1. He-Man's current strength is 89. He-Man has been detected using a knife weapon, and the skill has been successfully activated. His current strength is 90. As the thief activated his skills, his name also emerged, and it was He-Man. He-Man was a general of the Yellow Turban Army in Yingchuan and Runan during the late Eastern Han Dynasty, with tens of thousands of troops each along with Liu Bai, Huang Xiao, He Yi, and others. He first responded to Yuan Shu and later relied on Sun Jian, but was ultimately defeated by Cao Cao in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. He-Man was the leader of the Yellow Turban Army in Yingchuan and Runan, a general of He Yi, nicknamed Jietian Yeka. When Cao Cao went to Yingchuan and Runan to pacify the Yellow Turban Army, he took on the challenge and fought with Cao Hong for dozens of rounds without a draw. In the end, he was killed by Cao Hong's dragging knife strategy. Turning to Heimdal, Heimdal first made a casual strike, but He-Man raised his sword to barely block it, which piqued Heimdal's interest. After all, only Kunpeng had defeated him so far, and there were very few who could take his 3 moves. The person in front of him was able to catch his casual strike, making Heimdal a bit serious. Not bad, he was able to catch my casual strike. I think his martial arts skills are not bad, but next I need to be serious, Heimdal said to He-Man, and He-Man was greatly surprised. Originally, he used all his life strength to almost fall and block this blow on the spot, but you said that just now was just a casual blow. Not allowing He-Man to think too much, the second move came one after another. At this moment, He-Man was knocked off his horse with a sword. In fact, when Heimdal first saw He-Man, he wanted to directly kill him, but after blocking his casual attack, he felt that his martial arts were good. Moreover, his own young clan leader was in short supply, so he was directly captured alive, and the bandit soldiers also had 2 generals who saw the situation and came to support them, fighting against Heimdal together. Ding, He Yi activates the skill, Knife General. Every time He Yi uses a knife weapon, his strength will increase by 1. He Yi's current strength is 85. He Yi has been detected using a knife weapon, and the skill has been successfully activated. His current strength is 86. Ding, Huang Xiao uses the skill, Knife General. Every time Huang Xiao uses a knife weapon, his strength will increase by 1. Huang Xiao's current strength is 85. It is detected that Huang Xiao is using a knife weapon, and the skill is successfully activated. His current strength is 86. He Yi and Huang Xiao were both generals of the Yellow Turban Army. They went to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com and together with Liu Bai, He-Man, and others, each with tens of thousands of troops. They first responded to Yuan Shu and later relied on Sun Jian. In February of the first year of Jianan, 196 AD, according to the records of the Three Kingdoms, it was the second year of Jianan, 197 AD, Cao Cao led troops to attack, and Huang Xiao and Liu Bai were killed by him, while He Yi surrendered with his troops. Although he had a numerical advantage, Heimdal's force was already 28 points apart from these 2 individuals. With Huang Xiao killed and He Yi also captured, Heimdal cut off Huang Xiao's head and shouted, "The leader of the bandits, Huang Xiao, is dead. Those who surrender will not be killed." However, when the bandits saw their leaders being captured and one of them being killed, coupled with being attacked head-on by the Han army, they all threw down their weapons to surrender. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the first battle of their life. System Evaluation. Reward 500 summoning points. Neon clothing, can only be worn by the host. The next step is to clean up the battlefield. At this moment, Xiao Ran also put on a neon robe. Ding, detected that the host is equipped with a neon suit. The host's intelligence is +1, and the current intelligence is 79. After putting on this garment, Xiao Ran's thoughts were also somewhat clear, but not much. After cleaning the battlefield, Heimdal was surprised to find that the more than 20 people he had brought out for the surprise attack did not lose a single person, only 5 were injured. The Han army, which suffered the most losses, only lost more than 30 people, and some of them were only slightly injured. Therefore, the Han army, Xiao Ran army and another group of people on this side only died less than 60 people, capturing more than 400 enemy soldiers. However, there were also those mountain bandits who only had some wooden weapons and few iron weapons in their hands, which could produce such an astonishing proportion immediately. The leader of the Han army said to Xiao Ran and the others, "I don't know who the heroes are. Why don't you come with me to the city? I will definitely ask for your help." Chapter 4, Entering the City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing this, Xiao Ran and his group happily entered the city together, while the other group did not enter the city and walked directly towards the suburbs. After seeing Xiao Ran and his group, the prefect of Qiao County always felt that Xiao Ran was a bit familiar, but he didn't take it to heart. He arrogantly said, I have heard General Chen say that you have made significant contributions this time. Let's go to Qiao County's military camp and become soldiers." Xiao Ran didn't say anything, but Heimdal and others exploded and said, "How dare you humiliate the young clan leader so recklessly?" After hearing this, the prefect of Qiao County's face changed greatly and he said, "Dare, you are waiting for this group of lowly people. How dare you insult me? I kindly let you become soldiers, which can be considered a promotion for you. Normally, you do not have the qualifications to appear in front of me." After listening, Xiao Ran spoke faintly and said, "Is that right? I'm Xiao Ran, the Xiao of Xuzhou Governor Xiao Qi." After hearing this, the prefect of Qiao County also burst into laughter and said, "Kid, I didn't expect you to have delusions. Anyway, considering that you are in a state of confusion, I won't argue with you anymore." At this moment, a staff member next to the prefect of Qiao County came out and pointed at Xiao Ran in surprise, saying, You are Xiao Gongzi." After hearing this, the prefect of Qiao County looked confused and said, "What did you say, young Master Xiao?" The staff said to the prefect of Qiao County, "Your Excellency, it's not wrong." "I can't be wrong. I have received the favor of the Xiao family and I will definitely not be wrong. This person is the son of the governor Xiao Ran." After hearing this, the prefect of Qiao County couldn't believe it. He didn't, or rather didn't want to believe it, because if it were really as he said, Xiao Qi's prestige would be enough to dismiss him. He said to the staff, "Are you sure you're not mistaken? He's really Xiao Gongzi." The staff member said, "There will be no mistakes. Even though I have made mistakes in many things before, there will definitely be no mistakes this time." After hearing this, the prefect of Qiao County suddenly felt thunderous and collapsed on the ground, muttering incessantly, "It's over, it's over." However, Xiao Ran paid no attention and didn't even take the previous incident to heart. Suddenly, he remembered some things outside the city and said to the prefect of Qiao County, "The prefect of Qiao County, surnamed Wu, has some things he wants to consult with the prefect of Qiao County." After hearing this, the chief magistrate of Qiaoxian County was full of fear and hurriedly replied, "I dare not." It was an officer who was blind and had collided with young Master Xiao. "Don't blame me, don't blame me." Xiao Ran, on the other hand, expressed no concern and asked, "It's okay, but is it okay? I just caught a few bandits outside. Can you let me take them back and deal with them?" After hearing that Xiao Ran didn't care, the prefect of Qiao County granted him amnesty and then heard Xiao Ran's request. He quickly nodded and said, "Of course it can be, of course it can be. Not to mention a few, even if it's that group of bandits, it's not a big deal for you to deal with, young Master Xiao." After dealing with the aftermath of the conversation, Xiao Ran went straight to the place where he and He-Man were being detained, wanting to try to persuade them to surrender. However, when He and He-Man saw Xiao Ran, they sneered, "Oh, isn't this the Han army from a few days ago? I didn't expect this young master to see me as a traitor." After hearing this, Xiao Ran didn't get angry and said, "In my eyes, you are the same person as us. It's just that you have a hard time hiding that you have no choice but to steal. After all, who would be willing to rebel and engage in that killing business? After hearing this, He and He-Man fell into contemplation. Seeing this, Xiao Ran took advantage of the heat and continued, "Two brave warriors, I know you didn't intend to be a thief. Why don't you tell me your troubles? Maybe I can help you." After a long silence, He and He-Man said, "Even if you say it, it may not be useful. Since you want to hear us, let's just say it. Young master, I can feel that you are different from those others. But when we were wrongly accused of murder and went to the prefectural office of Qiao County to defend ourselves, no one listened. We had to rebel, otherwise we would have died in prison long ago." Xiao Ran said, "The two brave warriors are right in saying this." After hearing this, He and He-Man wanted to continue speaking up, but Xiao Ran didn't give them a chance and said, "But, two brave warriors, do you still remember the original intention of your rebellion? So your rebellion was forced too hard by the government to survive, so you chose to rebel. But now, your army has actually extended the butcher's knife to innocent civilians, but you have forgotten that you were civilians in the beginning, and you have forgotten your roots." After Xiao Ran finished speaking, He and He-Man became suspicious of their actions for the first time. They originally wanted to refute, but Xiao Ran's words were true, making it impossible for them to refute. After a fierce ideological struggle, He and He-Man finally made a choice at this moment. Xiao Ran thought that the two had not figured it out, so he prepared to leave and let them consider it carefully. He even revealed his identity and said, "I am Xiao Ran, the son of the governor of Xuzhou, Xiao Qi. If both of you are willing to come and join us, you will definitely be of great use." This statement undoubtedly dispelled some doubts from He and He-Man, and they immediately said, "I am He-Man, see the Lord." After hearing these words from the two, Xiao Ran was overjoyed and personally helped them loosen their ties. This moved He and He-Man very much, expressing that they will not disappoint Xiao Ran's attitude, and this can also be considered as Xiao Ran's truly exclusive team at present. Although Kunpeng and Heimdal were summoned earlier, they are currently nominally loyal to Xiao Qi, so they all refer to Xiao Ran as the young clan leader, not entirely Xiao Ran's own team. The two people who surrendered are indeed calling Xiao Ran the Lord, which makes Xiao Ran full of a sense of achievement. Ding, congratulations to the host for surrendering He and He-Man. The attributes of He and He-Man are as follows: He, 85 in force, 63 in command, 68 in intelligence, 53 in politics, 56 in charm. He-Man, 89 in force, 60 in command, 64 in intelligence, 50 in politics, 52 in charm. Ding, the system has just undergone a minor upgrade, and now a new feature has been added, which can scan others' attributes and see the scanned person's attributes. However, if the distance is too far, the scan will fail. Well, not bad. In this way, you can memorize the abilities of others, Xiao Ran thought to herself, and Xiao Ran remembered the unique army outside the city, so he went to ask the prefect of Qiao County. The prefect of Qiao County must have known that the group was from Zhujiazhuang in the suburbs. When he heard Zhujiazhuang, Xiao Ran immediately thought of Su Chu and asked the prefect of Qiao County, who naturally knew that he was the son of Mr. Su in Zhujiazhuang. After hearing that Su Chu was here, Xiao Ran prepared to go to Zhujiazhuang. After all, Xiao Ran still really wanted this historical tiger maniac. Supplement the attributes and deeds of LV Dai and Zhang Ba. LV Dai, 90 in force, 80 in command, 82 in intelligence, 81 in politics, and 80 in charm. Zhang Ba, 92 in force, 80 in command, 73 in intelligence, 78 in politics, and 75 in charm. Liu Dai, also known as Duke Ding, was a prominent official and general of the state of Wu during the Three Kingdoms period. Born in Hailing, Guangling. LV Dai was originally a county official who fled south to avoid chaos. Appreciated by Sun Quan, he served under the Sun family regime as a commanding officer and led troops with Jiang Qin to quell rebellions by Lv He, Qin Lang, and others. He was then appointed as the general of Zhao Xian. In the 20th year of Jianan, he followed Sun Quan to conquer the 3 counties of Changsha, surrendered 4 counties including Ansheng, and successfully pacified the 3 counties. Later, he suppressed the rebellion of Wu Dang and Yuan Long and was promoted to the position of governor of Luling. In the first year of Yan Kang, Dai Buji was appointed as the governor of Jiaozhou, pacifying the rebellion of Wang Jin between Guiyang and Jinyang. He was promoted to the position of general of Annam, Feiji, and conferred the title of Marquis of Duxiang. In the 5th year of Huanwu, he suppressed the rebellion of Shihui, controlled Lingnan, and was promoted to the position of general of Jinan. In Jin, he was conferred the title of Marquis of Panyu. When he was appointed as the governor of Jiaozhou, Lv Dai sent officials several times to promote the nationalization of the South and sent envoys to many countries in southwest China and Southeast Asia, including Funan, Lini, and Tangming, to pay tribute to Wu. In the 2nd year of the Qiwu era, he took over the handling of official documents in Jingzhou from Pan Jun and found the Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to be with Lu Sun and Wuchang, overseeing Puqi. In the 8th year of the Qiwu era, after Lu Sun's death, Wuchang was divided into 2 divisions, with Lv Dai overseeing the right division and being promoted to the rank of Grand General. In the 1st year of Jianqing, after the deposed Emperor Sun Liang ascended to the throne, Lv Dai was promoted to the position of Grand Marshal. Lu Dai devoted his entire life to serving as a public servant, expanding the territory for Sun Wu and achieving remarkable accomplishments. On the day of Ji Chou in September of the 1st year of Taiping, Lu Dai passed away at the age of 96. Zongba, styled Xiangao, also known as Nuku. A native of Huaxian County, Mount Taishan County, a military general of the state of Wei during the Three Kingdoms period when Zongba was 18 years old, he fled to Donghai County with his father. The Yellow Turban Army rebelled, and Zongba was appointed as an official cavalry captain. The troops were collected in Xuzhou, with Zongba serving as the marshal and stationed in Kaiyang. In the 3rd year of Jianan, when Cao Cao was attacking Lv Bu, Zongba and others led troops to assist Lv Bu. After Lv Bu was captured, Zongba hid and was appreciated by Cao Cao. Later, Zongba was appointed as the prime minister of Langyi, dividing Qingzhou and a part of Xuzhou, and entrusted to Zongba for governance. Cao Cao was in conflict with Yuan Shao, and Zongba led his elite soldiers several times to enter Qingzhou. In the 10th year of Jianan, Cao Cao defeated Yuan Tan in Nanpi, and Zongba and others went to congratulate him. Zongba took the opportunity to request the deportation of his children and the father, brother, and family members of the generals to Yi City. Later, there was a riot in the eastern provinces and counties. Zongba and others marched out with justice, quelled the rebellion, and cleared the Haidai area. They made great contributions and were all conferred the title of Marquis. Zongba was also conferred the title of Marquis of Duding and promoted to the rank of General Weilu in the 11th year of Jianan, together with the ban on attacking Changxi. In the 12th year of Jianan, he and Xiahou Yuan fought against the remaining members of the Yellow Turban Army, including Su He, and were promoted to the position of governor of Xuzhou for their meritorious service. They followed Cao Cao to conquer Sun Quan and defeated the Wu army. Zongba then went with Cao Cao to the mouth of Ruxu to conquer Sun Quan, and Cao Cao appointed Zongba as the general of Yanwei, using the pretext of Fu Jia. Cao Pai ascended to the throne and promoted Zongba to the position of Zhendong general. He was appointed as the Marquis of Wuhan Township and the Governor-General of Qingzhou. In the 3rd year of the Huangchu period of the Wei dynasty, he and Cao Xiu attacked Wu, and Cao Pai ascended to the extreme. He was appointed as the Marquis of Kaiyang and then changed to the Marquis of Liangcheng. Emperor Ming ascended to the throne and increased his fiefdom by 500 households. Later, Zongba passed away. Chapter 5. The Origins of Evil in Ancient Times. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Front row reminder. In this book, it may be different from the original history, and some things may also change slightly. After arriving at Zhujiazhuang, Xiao Ran and his group went to inquire about Su Chu. They learned that Su Chu was not there, so Xiao Ran prepared to wait for a few more days. Time flew by, and more than 10 days had passed. Heimdal and others were no longer willing to wait, and Xiao Ran also planned to go to Yenzhou first and wait until he returned. Xiao Ran and his group set off from Qiao County, crossed countless forests and mountains, and reached the boundary of Yenzhou. After reaching another jungle, Xiao Ran and his group prepared to continue crossing, passing by a small stream. At this moment, everyone was tired and rested here for a while. At this moment, it seemed that something was running in the jungle, and Heimdal heard it for the first time. Then, with a roar, Heimdal verified his hypothesis and said to Xiao Ran with a heavy expression, "Young leader, I'm afraid it's a tiger." Xiao Ran was also surprised upon hearing this. It was not surprising that there were tigers in the mountains and forests, but according to past memories, tigers usually moved around in the afternoon. But now it was only morning, so Xiao Ran couldn't bear to think too much and immediately asked everyone to prepare for battle. Not long after, a huge body rushed out of the forest ahead. Heimdal seized the opportunity and first struck the tiger's abdomen with a sword. However, to his surprise, after this incident, the tiger fell to the ground. At this moment, everyone came forward to look. Apart from the knife that Heimdal had cut, there were also large and small wounds on the back of the tiger. "I'm afraid that the tiger was already weak at its peak just now, which is why it was cut like this. The matter is not over yet." From the jungle where the tiger escaped just now, a big man carrying a double halberd immediately came over. After seeing the big man, Heimdal seemed to have a lot of pressure, which made him immediately muster up 12 points of energy. He then said to Xiao Ran, "Be careful, young clan leader. That big man's strength may not be weaker than that of the last general." Upon hearing Heimdal's words, Xiao Ran was also surprised. His military strength was not weak, and the big man in front of him may have reached 105, 106, or even 107 points of force. And when the big man saw the tiger lying in front of Heimdal and others, he immediately became furious and said, "Hey, this tiger was clearly the one I saw first. How can you grab my prey?" Upon hearing these words, everyone present was very surprised. Judging from the tone of the big man's voice, he came chasing the tiger, which was awe-inspiring. And when Xiao Ran heard chasing the tiger and saw holding a double halberd, he guessed and said to the system, "Scan the person in front of you." Ding, the successful scanning status is as follows: Jian Wei, Force 105, Commander 73, Intelligence 70, Politics 65, Charm 70. Without Xiao Ran's speculation, this person is indeed Jian Wei. And what deeds did Xiao Ran think of about Jian Wei during the Chuping period? Dongzhuo and Liangzhou caused chaos in the court and the opposition. Chenlu's prefect Zhang Miao and Cao Cao rebelled to form an anti-Dong alliance army and recruited Jian Wei as a soldier, under the jurisdiction of Sima Zhaochong. The army's yamen flag was long and large, and no one could lift it. Jian Wei lifted it with one hand, indicating that Jian Wei was very strong. If the previous two battles were not significant, one can directly see Jian Wei's military prowess. In the first year of Xingping, 194, Cao Cao and Lv Bu fought in Puyang. Lu Bu's other troops stationed their troops 40 to 50 miles west of Puyang. Cao Cao went to attack their camp at night and broke through it the next morning. Cao Cao's army had not yet returned in time, while Lu Bu's reinforcements had arrived. The two sides were engaged in a three-sided battle. At that time, Lu Bu personally fought, and from morning to sunset, both sides fought fiercely for dozens of times, holding each other in great urgency. Cao Cao temporarily recruited candidates to break through the enemy's formation. Jian Wei took over the recruitment first, and led about dozens of other recruits, all of whom were heavily armed with 2 helmets and no shields. They all held only long spears and halberds. At the same time, the situation in the west was urgent, and Jian Wei rushed forward to block the enemy. Lu Bu's army's bows and crossbows were scattered, and arrows rained like rain. Jian Wei ignored them and said to his followers, "The bandit army has arrived within 10 steps. Soon the attendant said, 10 steps away. Jian Wei also said, "Tell me within 5 steps. The attendant was afraid and immediately said, "The bandit army has arrived." Jian Wei held more than 10 small halberds and shouted loudly, throwing them at the enemy, and all those he threw fell. After a long battle, Lu Bu's army retreated. At this moment, it happened to be dusk when Cao Cao was able to lead his army away. In the second year of Jianan, 197 AD, Cao Cao launched a southern expedition against Zhang Xiu in Wancheng. Zhang Xiu welcomed his surrender, and Cao Cao was very pleased. He invited Zhang Xiu and his generals to hold a banquet together. When Cao Cao was drinking, Jian Wei stood behind with a large axe, with a blade diameter of more than a foot. In front of the people Cao Cao came to, Jian Wei raised his axe and forced him to look. At the end of the banquet, Zhang Xiu and her generals dared not look up. More than 10 days later, Zhang Xiu learned that Cao Cao intended to eliminate herself and led her army to rebel, launching a surprise attack on Cao Cao's camp. Cao Cao was caught off guard and was unable to participate in the battle. She fled with her light cavalry, while Jian Wei fought in front of the door. Zhang Xiu's army could not enter. Zhang Xiujuan then dispersed and entered the camp through other gates. There were still more than 10 soldiers under the command of Shi Jianwei in the military academy, all of whom fought fiercely and died to the death, all of whom were worth 10. But Zhang Xiu's army rushed in and gathered more and more. Jian Wei attacked left and right with a long spear, and with one strike, he broke off more than 10 spears of Zhang Xiu's army. Later, there were only a few casualties left and right of Jian Wei, and Jian Wei himself was also hit by dozens. Both sides engaged in a short battle, and Zhang Xiujuan wanted to come up and capture him alive. Jian Wei grabbed 2 Zhang Xiujuan soldiers with his arms and killed them. The rest of Zhang Xiujuan dared not approach. Jian Wei rushed forward to attack Zhang Xiujuan, killing several people, and his injuries worsened. Jian Wei then angrily cursed and died, and when Cao Cao retreated to Wuyin and heard that Jian Wei had died, he wept bitterly and recruited spies to retrieve his body. He personally wept and sent him to be buried in Xiangyi, which showed Cao Cao's respect for Jian Wei. Thinking of this, Xiao Ran asked knowingly, "Don't be angry, brave warrior. I don't know what the brave warrior's surname is at the book garden www.zhaoshuyuan.com. The strong man said angrily, "My name is Jian Wei, I have no words. Since my parents died early and I don't know who to seek refuge with, I hunt and make a living in this forest all day long. Today, when I saw this tiger, I had already injured it, but it was robbed by you." After listening to it, Xiao Ran asked Heimdal and others to return the tiger, took more than 10 gold coins, and gave them to Jian Wei. However, Heimdal, He and He-Man seemed to have something to say, but Xiao Ran stopped them. Jian Wei was very happy to see Xiao Ran willing to return the tiger to him, but when he saw that Xiao Ran wanted to give him money, he repeatedly refused. In the end, he had no choice but to give up. Jian Wei immediately said, "Thank you, young master, for being willing to return the tiger to me. If there is anything useful for me, I will do my best to help young master." After listening to this, Xiao Ran did not beat around the bush, but directly reported his family background, expressing his intention to persuade Jian Wei to join the Xuzhou army. Xiao Ran also guaranteed that if Jian Wei defected, he would definitely be valued, and there was no need to worry about having enough to eat all day. After listening to this, Jian Wei also directly expressed his willingness to join the Xuzhou army. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the effect of Jian Wei. The current Jian Wei attributes are as follows: Jian Wei, Force 105, Commander 73, Intelligence 70, Politics 65, Charm 70. After hearing that the system used the word effect, Xiao Ran was also very happy. If nothing unexpected happens, Jian Wei should also be his own team. After all, Xiao Ran is not only planning to eat his father Xiao Qi's foundation. Wait, if you join the army, you'll count me in too. A person with a short appearance emerged from the nearby forest, thinking that they were not yet of age, and He and He-Man, who were not speaking much on the side, said in unison, "Where did the child from want to join the army?" What? Chapter 6, Abundant Harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What are you saying? I'm already an adult now. And he man were very surprised, looking up and down, as if they didn't believe it was true. Meanwhile, Xiao Ran also had the system scan the person in front of him. Ding, the successful scanning status is as follows: Lejin, 96 in strength, 95 in command, 83 in intelligence, 79 in politics, 82 in charm. Looking at the small Lejin in front of me, it also fits the evaluation of his appearance. His appearance is short and small, but although Lejin is short, he is also a fierce person who can be said to have climbed the ranks first. Lejin, who attacked LV Bu in Puyang, Zhang Chao in Yongqiu, and Xiao Rui in Kuxian, were all the first to climb the ranks and achieved meritorious deeds. He was granted the title of Tingho in Guangchang in the third year of Jianan, 198 AD. Lejin joined the expedition against Zhang Xiu in Anzhong, surrounded Lu Bu in Xiapi, and sent out generals to break through his defenses in the fourth year of Jianan, 199 AD. He also attacked Sui Gu and Shegu, and attacked Liu Bei and Xiaopei, both achieving victories. And Lejin's even more powerful deeds were during the Battle of Guandu, when Cao Cao launched a surprise attack on Yuan Shao's supplies. And the defending general was Chunyu Qiong. In the romance, Chunyu Qiong was defeated because he was drunk. However, in official history, Chunyu Qiong not only did not get drunk, but also resisted. Most importantly, when Yuan Shao heard the news of Cao Cao's attack on Chunyu Qiong, he sent light troops to rescue Chunyu Qiong, and sent heavy troops to attack Chao's camp. Yuan Shao's additional cavalry arrived at Wuchao. Some people around Cao Cao said, "The enemy's cavalry is gradually approaching, please divide the troops to resist." Cao Cao shouted angrily, "When the enemy is behind us, come and report." Chao's soldiers fought to the death, so they defeated Yuan's army and beheaded the leading generals Sui Yuanjin and Han Zhuzi. The heads of Lv Wei Huang, Zhao Rui, and others cut off Chunyu Qiong's nose, killed more than 1,000 soldiers, cut off all of their noses, and sent them along with the tongues of cows and horses to the Yuan army. The Yuan army soldiers were greatly shocked. In this battle, the Chao army even burned all of Yuan's food reserves. According to the records of the Three Kingdoms, Chun Yuqiong was killed by Chao Jiangla in a fierce battle. From this, it can be seen that a significant factor in Cao Cao's victory may have been Lejin's timely killing of Chun Yuqiong, which enabled Cao Cao to achieve victory. After the Battle of Guandu, Lejin further emphasized the importance of first attacking each battle, such as attacking Yuan Shao's son Yuan Tan and Yuan Shang's brothers in Liang, beheading their general Yan Jing, worshipping guerrilla generals, Lejin attacking Huang Jin, defeating his troops, pacifying Luan County, besieging Yi City, pacifying them, and then pursuing Yuan Tan in Nanpi. He then climbed first again and broke into the east gate of Nanpi City. After Yuan Tan's defeat, Lejin attacked Yongnu and then defeated his army. In January of the 18th year of Jianan, Liu Bei said to Lu Zhang, "Lejin refused Guanyu in Qingni. If he doesn't go to save Guanyu now, Lejin will definitely defeat Guanyu and invade the border area of Yizhou and Jingzhou." Although Liu Bei may have used this as a reason to ask Lu Zhang to go for rescue, it cannot be ruled out that Liu Bei is really a bit afraid of Lejin, and even claims that Lejin will definitely defeat Guanyu. However, it has been proven that Liu Bei's prophecy came true. During the period when Lejin was guarding Xiangyang, Lejin repelled Guanyu and Su Fei, and the barbarians in the valleys of the southern counties surrendered to Lejin. They also joined forces with Sunku and Wenpin to defeat Guanyu and conquer Liu Bei's subordinates, Linzhu Changdu Pu and Jinyang Changliangda, both of whom defeated Liu Bei so much so that Cao Cao praised him, along with Zhang Liao and Eugene, that he said, "The military is both powerful, the strategy is well prepared, the quality and loyalty are consistent, the defense and righteousness are upheld, and every time there is a battle, he is always led by the governor, striving to be strong and firm, unwavering, and tireless in his own support." He also dispatched troops to lead the army, pacified the troops, and obeyed orders without violating them. When the enemy made a decisive decision, there was no loss. In terms of merit and discipline, it was advisable to show each person's favor. During the Battle of Ziyijin, Lejin was ordered to defend the city in the fourth year of the Zhengshi era, 243 AD, Lejin was enshrined in the courtyard of Cao Cao Temple. Moreover, Lejin, along with Eugene, Zhang Liao, Zhang He, and Su Huang, were known as the Five Good Generals. However, the only thing that puzzled Xiao Ran was that according to historical records, Lejin was from Weigua County, Yangping County, and he himself was still a bit far away from there. But then he remembered the various schools of thought he had heard before, and Xiao Ran also knew that this Three Kingdoms was somewhat different at this moment. Xiao Ran also reacted and quickly said, "Since the hero is willing to join the army, I don't know what the hero is called." Lejin immediately replied, "My name is Lejin." Xiao Ran also immediately exclaimed excitedly, "Okay, today the Xuzhou army received 2 soldiers to join the army. It's really fortunate. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the effect of Lejin." The current Lejin attributes are as follows: Lejin, 96 in strength, 95 in command, 83 in intelligence, 79 in politics, 82 in charm. After successfully recruiting Lejin, Xiao Ran and his group walked towards Shanyang Changi. Because Xiao Ran remembered someone, he decided to try his luck along the way. He-man surrounded Lejin and asked him why he was so short and so black. Lejin: "Sometimes I really want to poke a hole in these 2 goods with a gun." After Xiao Ran and his group arrived in Changi, the city gate was crowded with a bunch of people, and they could even hear words like, "Man Chong, you cruel official," from their mouths. So Xiao Ran asked people to inquire about what was going on, and everyone else said, "Man Chong, this cruel official, is really against the previous Emperor Wu of Han's exclusive Confucianism. Now that he has returned, I'm sorry, how could he have the face to come back? It's really embarrassing." And when Xiao Ran heard everyone scolding Man Chong, he also knew what was going on. At this time, it should be around the time when Man Chong acted as the county magistrate of Gaoping and tortured the prisoner to death, so he resigned from his position and returned home. Of course, it was normal for Man Chong's behavior to be criticized. After all, Confucianism was deeply rooted in the Han dynasty. On the other hand, although Man Chong was a cruel official, he would not let him go just because of his relationship with the other party. Some people were impartial. For example, in history, Chao Hong's relatives and guests had repeatedly violated the law in Su County, and Man Chong arrested them. Chao Hong pleaded with Man Chong, but Man Chong refused to let him go. Chao Hong asked Chao Chao to plead, and Man Chong executed the offender in advance before Chao Chao came. After the famous scholar Yang Biao was imprisoned, Man Chong was responsible for interrogation. Sun Yu and Kong Rong wrote a letter pleading, saying, "Only interrogate, not torture." Man Chong ignored the interrogation as usual. Sun Yu and Kong Rong were extremely angry. A few days later, Man Chong sought to see Chao Chao and said, "Yang Biao was interrogated without evidence. If we want to execute him, we need to find evidence before we can execute him. This person is named in the sea. If we cannot find evidence and execute him, it will greatly lose people's hearts. Please think carefully." Chao Chao released Yang Biao today, and from this, it can be seen that Man Chong's head. It's quite ironclad. It doesn't matter who comes to break the law, but it's not like killing someone casually. Without evidence, one won't kill anyone, and Man Chong's commander was also good. In the 24th year of Jianan, Guan Yu attacked Fancheng, and Man Chong assisted Xiao Ran in defending the city. In August of the same year, a natural disaster occurred in the Han River Basin, causing harm to the people. Guan Yu took the opportunity to attack by taking a large ship, captured and beheaded Pangda. The walls of Fancheng also collapsed in many places due to flooding, causing panic among the army. Someone said to Xiao Ran, "Today's crisis is not so easy to sustain. While Guan Yu has not yet joined forces to besiege the city, we should take a light boat at night and abandon the city to escape. This way, we can escape." Man Chong advised, "The mountains and rivers come and go quickly, and I hope it won't be too long. I heard that Guan Yu sent other generals under Jia Xia, claiming to be south." The people were worried, but Guan Yu dared not attack because he was afraid that our army would become horns behind us. If we escape now, the area south of the Honghe River will not be owned by our country. Please continue to wait. Xiao Ran said, that's right. Man Chong drowned his white horse and made an oath with the soldiers. Facing the battle with a determined heart, everyone regained their composure. After Su Huang's reinforcements arrived, the water also slightly decreased. Xiao Ran, Man Chong, and Su Huang attacked Guan Yu back and forth, and Guan Yu was ultimately defeated during the Fifth Battle of Hefei. Man Chong, who was already in his old age, recruited dozens of brave soldiers, broke pine branches as torches, poured sesame oil on them, and set fire to the wind in an upwind position. The fire continued to spread under the influence of the wind, burning all the way to the enemy's siege equipment. Sun Quan's nephew Sun Tai came to put out the fire, and Man Chong's army fired arrows at the Wu army. At that time, the arrows fired by Man Chong's army were following the wind, which increased their range and penetration, ultimately killing Sun Tai. However, Sun Quan's army besieged Hefei New City for several days, and Zhang Ying, the defending general of Hefei New City, refused to defend the city. It was difficult for the Wu army to break through the city. Sun Quan learned that the army led by Emperor Wei Ming Qiao Rui himself was not far from him, and many of the Wu army's sergeants died of illness. Therefore, Sun Quan retreated, and Sun Xiao's army also returned at the same time. Only the Lu Sun army continued to fight, but soon retreated. From then on, Sun Quan successfully achieved one more person, which made Man Chong happy to be named Man 10 People. Title. Thinking of this, Xiao Ran was preparing to meet Man Chong. Although Xiao Ran did not like corrupt officials and his father Xiao Qi was known for his benevolence in Xuzhou, benevolence alone was not enough. Therefore, one person needed to use criminal law to deter him, which was also the main reason why Xiao Ran came to Chang'e immediately after inquiring about Man Chong's address. Xiao Ran and others went there. When they arrived, Xiao Ran politely knocked on the door, and a voice came from inside. "Who? The door is not locked, come in directly." Upon hearing this, Xiao Ran realized that it was indeed unlocked and entered. However, upon entering, everyone was stunned. Apart from some essential items, there was nothing else in the entire room, which was extremely rudimentary. Immediately, a man walked out and was surprised to see so many people coming to visit. He said, "I didn't expect anyone in Chang'e would like to have a satisfactory opinion. I wonder what's up with you all." After hearing this, Xiao Ran went to the Shuyuan website www.zhaoshuyuan.com and said, "I believe you must be Mr. Man Boning, the character of Man Chong, but who said others won't come to visit you?" Upon hearing this, Man Chong also sighed and said, "Alas, you probably don't come from Chang'e." Xiao Ran replied, "No." Man Chong nodded and then said sorrowfully, "I never thought that no one from my hometown would want to see me, but someone from outside came to see me. It's truly touching." Xiao Ran asked knowingly, "Mr. Man, why did you say this?" Man Chong said, "You all don't know that I once acted as the magistrate of Gaoping County. However, a few days ago, some corrupt officials blatantly embezzled money in Yongping County, so I tortured those people. Unexpectedly, they were tortured to death, so I abandoned my official position and returned to my hometown. Unexpectedly, I was not understood by my fellow villagers. If I killed someone who didn't do anything, I would also recognize them. But these people are all real corrupt. What is my mistake?" Xiao Ran said, "Not bad, Mr. Man has done a good job in this matter. He should treat this kind of person this way." After hearing this, Man Chong's eyes lit up and he said, "Young master, do you support Man's approach?" Xiao Ran smiled and said, "Mr. Man, although our Han dynasty is governed by Confucianism, if we are only tolerant, it will breed more crimes, and the consequences will be unimaginable." Immediately after, Xiao Ran threw out an olive branch and reported himself to his family. Man Chong was already unpopular in Chang'e, and because Xiao Ran supported his actions, Man Chong successfully joined Xiao Ran Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining full pet effects. The current full pet attributes are as follows: full pet, 70 force, 90 commander-in-chief, 88 intelligence, 94 politics, 78 charm. After recruiting Man Chong, Xiao Ran and his group also rested for a few days until one person claimed to have come from Pengcheng and brought a letter. Chapter 7, Karon. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Speaking of the cavalry who came to deliver the letter, it was sent by Xiao Qi. It turned out that Xiao Qi learned the news later than Xiao Ran. At that time, he did not know that the bandits from all directions in the Han dynasty had already risen. Recently, Xiao Qi also heard that a group of mountain bandits had captured Lu County in Yangzhou. In addition, there were more and more mountain bandits coming near Xuzhou, which made Xiao Qi feel uneasy. Therefore, he sent someone to summon Xiao Ran back. After listening to it, Xiao Ran also felt that his father's concerns were reasonable, so he set off from Chang'an and walked for more than 30 days back to Pengcheng. After returning to Pengcheng, Xiao Ran went straight back home. After all, he had returned, so he had to go see his father first. As soon as Xiao Ran entered the house, he heard a voice. "Ranner has returned." Xiao Ran recognized his father's voice and replied, "Yes, the child has returned." Immediately, the father and son exchanged pleasantries for a while, and then Xiao Ran shared his experiences along the way with Xiao Qi. Xiao Qi also praised Xiao Ran for growing up. After the pleasantries, Xiao Ran withdrew, but he planned to scan his father's attributes, so Xiao Ran said to the system, "Scan my father's 5 dimensions." Ding, the successful scanning status is as follows: Xiao Qi, Force 100, Commander 100, Intelligence 98, Politics 97, Charm 89, Skill, Hidden Tiger, Effect 1. If Xiao Qi is the commander-in-chief, the force of all our generals will increase by 3. Effect 2. If the opponent's commander is lower than Xiao Qi's commander +5, and the entire army's force +4. If the opponent's commander is higher than Xiao Qi's commander +3, and the entire army's force +2. Effect 3. If one's own side is in a defensive state, the strength of all one's soldiers will increase by 3, and their own strength, commander, and intelligence will all increase by 4. If one side is in an attacking state, the morale of all one's soldiers will be greatly boosted, and then the strength of 5 of one's own generals will increase by 5. Xiao Ran was very surprised when he saw it. He didn't expect his father's attributes to be so high. The commander's strength reached 100, and his intelligence was also close to 100. He was considered a versatile person. Moreover, his skills were revealed, and this should be the special skill mentioned by the system before. Ding, it has been detected that Xiao Qi has high attributes and strong skills. Send a summoning card to the host's famous master. Master summoning card. Let's use it first, Xiao Ran said immediately. If I guess correctly, it should be to obtain a teacher for himself. Ding, when summoning, 5 talents will be generated. Please delete 2 and the host will randomly summon them. The first talent. The teacher of all gods. Karon, military force, commander-in-chief, intelligence, politics, charm 99, education 100. Although Karon is a centaur tribe, he is not as savage and ferocious as other centaurs. Karon's abilities are outstanding among centaurs, including playing qin, chess, calligraphy, painting, archery, swordsmanship, boxing, sumo, and the world. He is almost omnipotent and knowledgeable. He lives in seclusion in the Pilowan cave, teaching unparalleled martial arts skills. Any of his students, even if they only learn one skill, can dominate the world. Even Theseus, Achilles, Jason, and Heracles were his first sons. The second talent. The sage of the Upper Qing dynasty. The Lingbao heavenly sovereign, the half-step sage of martial arts in the later period, the commander-in-chief, intelligence, politics, charm 99, education 100. The third talent. Yuqing sage. Yuanzhi heavenly sovereign, half-step martial saint in the later period, commander-in-chief, intelligence, politics, charm 99, education 100. The fourth talent. The Confucian Sage. Confucius, is it military force, commander-in-chief, intelligence, politics, charm 100, education 100, the fifth talented person. The Confucian Sage. Meng Ku, is the use of force, commander-in-chief, politics, charm 98, education 99, system. I want to delete Kong Qiu and Meng Ku and extract them from 3 individuals. Karon, Lingbao Tianzuan, and Yuanshi Tianzuan, said Xiao Ran. Okay, host, please wait a moment. The extraction is underway. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the teacher of all gods. Karon. Carrying character. Hercules, implanted identity. Originally a famous Western teacher, he refused to be called up by the Vatican but was unexpectedly rejected by Sharon. Therefore, the Vatican used violent means to make Sharon surrender. Sharon was helpless and fled to the east with his disciple Hercules. In the east, Sharon felt that there was a fate between the host and him, and soon came to the host's house to collect his disciples. However, Sharon did not personally leave the scene, only sent disciples to assist the host. After seeing that he had drawn Karon, he could only say that he was not at a disadvantage. Although Karon's individual strength may not be comparable to Lingbao Tianzuan, Yuanshi Tianzuan, and so on, the system's prompt also made Xiao Ran know that even if he had drawn Lingbao Tianzuan and Yuanshi Tianzuan, he might still be like Karon and not personally come to the scene. At most, he would send disciples to help him. At this moment, Xiao Ran noticed something and asked the system a series of questions. System, can summoning characters now also carry characters? Also, what's wrong with attributes being question marks? Ding, the attribute is a question mark because the system level is too low to reveal, and carrying characters is currently due to the strong strength of Karon. If you want to summon characters to carry characters, you need to upgrade the system, which requires the host to summon characters. It seems that system upgrade is very important, Xiao Ran thought, but soon realized that the character carried by Sharon was Hercules, the greatest hero in ancient Greek mythology. However, due to his background, he was hated by Zeus' wife Hera and was cursed by Hera, causing him to kill his own child in madness. In order to redeem himself, he completed 12 impossible tasks. On the way, he also rescued Prometheus, who was bound, and hid his identity to participate in Jason's heroic exploration team and assist Jason in obtaining the Golden Fleece. He searched for the book Garden www.zhaozhuyuan.com, but was misunderstood by his wife, who painted poison on his clothes, causing him to suffer unbearable pain and self-immolate. After death, he ascended to Mount Olympus and was granted the title of Hercules by Zeus. He participated in the war between the gods of Olympus and Gigantes and won. In the end, she reconciled with Hera, and in order to show her recognition of him, Hera betrothed her daughter, the goddess of youth, Herb, to Heracles as his wife. Ding, it has been detected that the host has summoned the famous Master Karon, carrying characters and being extremely powerful, so the balance has begun. The first person to balance. Wang, Ho, General, Xiang Ning, Yuzhong Hu, Chen Sheng, Force 89, Intelligence 83, Commander 86, Politics 73, Charm 88, carrying characters. Wu Guang, Zhou Wen, Zhou Shi, Qin Jia, Wu Chen, Deng Zong, Deng Zhong, Deng Shua, Guing, Tian Zhang, Song Lu, Zhao Ping, Zhao Sa, LV Chen, Zhang Er, Chen Yu, Wu Su, Kai Ci, Dong Qian, Zhu Jishir, Zhengbu, Ding Ji, Zhang He, Pan, Zhuang Jia. Implanted identity. Originally a poor farmer in Xiao County, Yuzhou, he was later crushed by the local governor, and in a fit of anger, he killed him and seized the city of Xiao County, balancing the second person. Ming Yuzhen, the founding emperor of the Ming and Xia dynasties, with 94 military strength, 85 intelligence, 81 commander-in-chief, 73 internal affairs, and 79 charm carrying items. Ming Sheng, Wan Sheng, Dai Shou, Xiang Daheng. Implanted identity. Originally a wealthy man from Yizhou, he couldn't stand those big aristocratic families and repeatedly engaged in conflicts with other aristocratic families in Xuzhou. Later, he immediately launched an uprising. Ding, balance is over. The balance this time was fine. Although Chen Sheng was eliminated, summoning Karon was not a disadvantage. At the same time, a middle-aged man suddenly looked at the stars in the sky and murmured, "Interesting, strange numbers, they still have a connection with me. It's really interesting." Chapter 8, Apprenticeship. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 5 or 6 days later, the governor's office Xiao Ran still woke up early as usual, and after washing up, he began to exercise like in his previous life. After reading it, Xiao Qi was somewhat surprised and said, "My son, where did you learn this fitness method from?" After hearing this, Xiao Ran wanted to avoid it and said, "Father, this is what I dreamt of when a divine person taught me this method. When I woke up, I learned it." After hearing this, Xiao Qi didn't say anything, just nodded. In fact, Xiao Qi naturally didn't believe in this set of words, but his own son didn't want to say it, so let's not force it. After a while, Xiao Qi walked over with a middle-aged man and a strong man. The middle-aged man was also somewhat surprised when he saw Xiao Ran's method of exercising his body, and immediately praised it endlessly. But Xiao Qi said, "The sages don't know. This is what my son learned from a fairy in his dream. Maybe the sages even know that fairy." "Really? That's really interesting," the middle-aged man said thoughtfully. At this moment, Xiao Ran also noticed the middle-aged man and the strong man. He pointed out that the biggest characteristic of the middle-aged man was his red hair and red beard. More importantly, Xiao Ran felt that the middle-aged man was somewhat unfathomable. The strong man, who was almost 2 meters tall, had black seaweed-like long hair over his shoulder, red pupils in his right eye, white eyes in black, and golden eyes in his left eye. His dark skin was bare on his upper body, with wristbands tied to his hands, and his muscles were very strong. He wore a battle dress on his lower body, barefoot, and had an extremely strange appearance. When passers-by around him saw him, it was like encountering some bad people, and they dared not approach him. "Ranner, this is a sage from the west, unfathomable. Hurry up and bow to the sage." Xiao Ran, "Young man, pay respects to the sages," and Xiao Ran said this silently in his heart. System, scan these 2 individuals' attributes. Ding, the successful scanning status is as follows: Karon, using force, Commander-in-Chief, Intelligence, Politics, Charm 99, Education 100. Hercules, Force 109, Commander 31, Intelligence 56, Politics 32, Charm 38. Without Xiao Ran's conjecture, these 2 individuals are indeed Charon and Hercules. However, judging from Hercules' other attributes, it is highly likely that Hercules is conducting 12 trials like in mythology, and the 12 trials in mythology are: 1. Peel off the skin of the giant lion of Nemea. 2. Kill Hydra. 3. Capture the female deer on Mount Carunia alive. 4. Capture the wild boar of Erymanthus alive. 5. Clean the cowshed in Ogas within a day, not cleaned in 30 years. 6. Drive away the strange birds from Lake Stingpharaoh. 7. Taming bulls on Crete Island. 8. Bring back a group of Mares from Diomedes to Mycenae. 9. Seize the belt of Amazon Queen Hippolyte. 10. Bring back the herd of cattle from the giant Gryffindor. 11. Pick the golden apple from Hesperides. 12. Bring back the evil dog Cerberus from hell. It can be said to be extremely difficult, but in this different era, what are the 12 trials of Hercules? Upon seeing this, Karon said with satisfaction, "Not bad, not bad. You are a good student to teach, but the governor, I want to take the young master as my disciple." I don't know what the governor thinks. After hearing this, Xiao Qi was immediately overjoyed. After all, he had seen the abilities of this sage before. If his son could worship this sage as his teacher, it would definitely be better than following him. He immediately agreed, since the sage is willing to accept his son as his disciple, this is a fortunate thing. How could Qi refuse? The next day, Xiao Ran announced his apprenticeship to Karon. After following the process, Xiao Ran became a disciple of Karon that evening. Xiao Qi said to Xiao Ran, "Ran heir, after following the sage, you must strictly follow the sage's teachings and never be naughty." Xiao Ran immediately saluted and said, "Father, rest assured that the child will study hard after following the sages." "But it's you, father. If the child is not here during this time, father must take good care of his health." And when Karon heard it nearby, he also smiled and nodded, sighing that Xiao Ran was also a filial son. The next morning, Xiao Ran got on the carriage and got further and further away from the governor's mansion. Time flies in an instant, and in the blink of an eye, it has already reached the 7th year of Guanghe, 184 AD. At this time, it has been 5 years since Xiao Ran was appointed as his teacher by Karon. Xiao Ran has learned a lot from Karon, and his attributes have also undergone significant changes. Name: Xiao Ran Force. 99 Intelligence. 88 Commander-in-Chief. 72 Internal Affairs. 83 Charm. 90 Summoning Value. 500 Wearing Item. Neon Clothing, Intelligence +1 Skill 1 Gun King. When each host uses a gun-type weapon, their strength will increase by 3 Skill 2, Dragon Master, exclusive to Xiao Ran only, True Dragon Emperor, Purple Way Emperor, Hexagonal Emperor Effect 1. The True Dragon descends from the sky, significantly reducing the chance of dying in battle within its range and increasing the probability of obtaining civil and military talents. Effect 2. When serving as the Commander-in-Chief, Command +3, Intelligence +2, ignoring any effects, and suppressing all 4 dimensions and 2 points of feudal lords, kings, and hostile forces. Effect 3. During the moment of life and death, it can unleash the peak force of the closest person. Effect 4. Ziwei Emperor descends from the mortal world and reopens the Han family heaven. When facing a life and death crisis, one effect in the skill can be sealed for a year. To escape, can only be activated once a year. Effect 5. Previously, there was a son of the plane, but now there is a son of the heavenly way. When he leads a battle, he must receive assistance from heaven, and his civil and military personnel have a significantly increased chance of escaping in times of crisis or difficulty. This effect can only erupt once, in civil and military aspects, and the protagonist can erupt 3 times, every 3 years. Effect 6. When it eliminates feudal lords, emperors, and nobles, it will devour their skills and randomly gain 1 point in 5 dimensions. Skill 3 Taizu, exclusive to Xiao Ran only. When the world falls into darkness, there must be a savior. Effect 1. When the world falls into chaos, it lifts the pole and rises up, causing a significant increase in public sentiment during the uprising, with a small increase in public sentiment for each region that is conquered. Effect 2. At this moment, uphold the principles of literature and martial arts. When serving as the Commander-in-Chief at Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, increase the military strength of the entire army by 2. In times of life or death crisis, increase the military strength of the entire army by 3. Effect 3. Destiny Returns. When most of the world's territory is recaptured, one's full attributes are increased by 2. Effect 4. In times of war, serving the people of the world, the will of the people has increased slightly, leading to a slight increase in public opinion. Effect 5. Bold martial art strategy, reduces opponent's intelligence by 3 points, and reduces opponent's ability to launch suppression. Effect 6. Dare to call the sun and moon to exchange for a new sky. When initiating an uprising, all attributes will receive an additional +3, ineffective if the uprising fails or is successfully overthrown. When proclaiming king or emperor, the 4-dimensional permanent +1. Of course, the reason why Xiao Ran's attributes are so high is still due to the teachings of Karon, and it is also because of this that Xiao Ran successfully stimulated his skills. At the same time, Xiao Ran went to find Karon. After all, as his master, Karon really taught him a lot. If he wants to go down the mountain, he must at least say something. Arriving at the door of Karon's residence, Hercules had already guarded it to prevent others from harming Charon. However, it seemed that no one could easily kill Charon. I remember one time before, Xiao Ran only led Xiao Ran down the mountain and was surrounded by bandits. At that time, Xiao Ran was already ready to die, but unexpectedly, Xiao Ran erupted into a magical force. Immediately, Xiao Ran fainted and woke up to return to the mountain. When Heracles saw Xiao Ran walking over, he also said, "Is junior brother awake?" Xiao Ran was making progress, and Heracles was also undergoing 12 trials. After calculation, it should be the 5th trial now, and Heracles' consciousness was gradually recovering, no longer like before. Xiao Ran bowed and said, "Senior brother got up quite early. Could you please inform master? Junior brother has something to see master." And a heavy voice came from inside the house. "No need to report, disciple, just come in directly." Chapter 9, Yellow Turban Uprising. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xuzhou, a nearby mountain. Tour, have you made up your mind? Karon seemed unwilling to let Xiao Ran intervene excessively when going down the mountain. "Master, the world is about to change now. It's better to take the initiative to attack than to be exploited by others." Karon didn't speak, just nodded and tacitly agreed for Xiao Ran to come down the mountain immediately. Xiao Ran gave Karon a heavy kowtow and turned around to come down the mountain. After returning to Pengcheng, I found that there had been significant changes. Firstly, the characters I brought back from Yenzhou were highly valued. Firstly, Man Chong was recommended by Xiao Ran as the prefect of LV County, while LV Dai, Zhang Ba, Lejin, and Yan Wei all managed to obtain a colonel to some extent. Of course, being a colonel was not easy, but in the years when Xiao Ran was not around, Xiao Qidua used these 4 people to suppress mountain bandits and became a colonel a few days later. Due to a report from the Tang and Zhou dynasties, the Yellow Turban Uprising was forced to start earlier. The Yellow Turban army wrapped their heads in yellow turban and shouted, "The heavens are dead, the Yellow Turban should stand tall, and the year is in Jiazi. The world is in good luck." Among them, Zhang Jiao proclaimed himself as the general of heaven, Zhang Bao proclaimed himself as the general of earth, and Zhang Liang proclaimed himself as the general of human resources. In addition, there were various military commanders from all over the country who joined the Yellow Turban Uprising, including Fang La in Yangzhou, Tian Hu in Bingzhou, Wang Qing in Jingzhou, Song Jiang in Qingzhou, Chen Sheng in Yuzhou, and Ming Yuzhen in Yizhou. From then on, the Yellow Turban Uprising erupted completely. Ding, detecting historical events triggering will trigger balance, the first person to balance. The North's Golden Spear King. Zhang Churang, with 106 troops, 72 commanders, 81 intelligence, 73 politics, and 80 charm carrying weapons. Purple Vine Spear implanting identity. A hero who defected to Zhang Jiao balancing the second person. Zhang Shicheng, the leader of the Yuan dynasty uprising, with 83 troops, 86 intelligence, 87 commanders, 89 politics, and 90 charm carrying characters. Zhang Shida, Zhang Shixin, Zhang Tianqi, Zhang Shi, Li Busheng, Pan Yuanming, LV Zhen, Huang Jingfu, Kai Yanwen, Yi Dexin implanted identity. Originally an ordinary member of the Yellow Turban Army, he was discovered and promoted by Zhang Jiao, and now he is the Guanling Zhuxuai. Ding, balance is over. Seeing the balanced characters made Xiao Ran feel a bit tricky. First, Zhang Chu asked this person with 106 martial arts skills, and then Zhang Shicheng brought out the characters, which were enough for Guanling to drink a pot. Ding, detected a historical event triggered by the host, rewarded with 1,000 summoning points. Well, not bad, can it be considered compensation? After more than 10 days, it was reported that almost the entire territory of Guanling County had fallen, with only Guanling and Hailing still struggling to defend. On the other hand, on the Pengcheng side, almost all of Luxian, Chanlu, Hexiang, Qingxian, Lanling were captured, and at this time, a scout came to report to Lord, we have discovered the Yellow Turban Army from 100 miles nearby, with a population of about 50,000. The scout reported to Xiao Qi. After listening to this, Xiao Qi pondered for a moment and immediately said, General Lejin and General Zhang Ba, you two can lead 20,000 troops to ambush in the nearby forest outside the city. catching the Yellow Turban army off guard. Xiao Qi felt it was not safe again and said to Heimdal and Jian Wei, the two generals could lead 10,000 troops to take advantage of General Lejin and General Zhangba's ambush on the Yellow Turban army and launch a flank attack, completely disrupting the Yellow Turban army. The last step is for me to lead the army to launch a fatal attack on the Yellow Turban army, said Xiao Qi. Xiao Ran's eyes widened as he heard his father's command. To be honest, if it were his own command, he would never have thought of it, but in the final step, Xiao Ran raised an objection. I don't need my father to personally lead the army, the child is willing to lead the army. After thinking for a while, Xiao Qi also felt that this was a good opportunity to train Xiao Ran, so he agreed. A few people arrived above the city wall and looked at the place where the Yellow Turban army was coming. They instructed Lejin, Zhangba, Heimdal, and Jian Wei to follow their original plan. After a while, looking back at the Yellow Turban army here, there are still more than 10 miles left. Little ones, hurry up, and when we take Pengcheng, all the gold and silver treasures inside will be ours. Sima Zhu, the commander of the Yellow Turban army, said that as soon as these words were spoken, the Yellow Turban army accelerated their speed. One after another, and another general of the Yellow Turban army, Su He, showed a nauseating yellow-toothed smile and said, yes, that's extreme. Pengcheng is famous for its wealth, but I don't know the gold, silver, and jewelry inside. Sima Zhu said calmly, according to the old rules, divide equally. These two people seemed to regard Pengcheng as a must-win situation at this time. Other generals were quite dissatisfied with the two of them. Among them, there were 4 figures brought by Fang La, including Si Xingfang, Shi Bao, Deng Yuanjue, and Li Tianrun. These 4 people were ordered by Fang La to assist in the attack on Xuzhou. Along the way, they were dissatisfied with Sima Zhu, Su He, and these two people for a long time. Si Xingfang first spoke out against them on the spot. There is a big difference between the two Chu Shui. The great sage and good teacher's uprising was originally for the people of the world, but the two Chu Shui wanted to plunder the city recklessly, which is contrary to the concept of the great sage and good teacher. Su He and Sima Zhu were just about to refute, so they went to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, and Li Tianrun immediately said, not bad. The two Chu Shui deliberately did not follow the instructions of De Xian Liangshi. Did they take De Xian Liangshi's words as nonsense? Upon hearing this, Su He and Sima both exploded on the spot and shouted angrily, what kind of thing are you two? Both of us and Fang La are commanders of the canal. Besides, when we followed the wise and virtuous army, Fang La didn't know where he was. Only we were the commanders of this battle. Since you have objections, let's divide our troops and attack alone. After hearing this, Li Tianrun was about to say, all right, divide the troops. However, he was stopped by Shi Bao. Although Shi Bao was also very unhappy with Su He and Sima Zhu, if he wanted to divide the troops, he was afraid that they would be defeated one by one. Therefore, Shi Bao asked the other 3 to endure for a while. At this time, Su He and Sima both saw that the others were not saying anything, so they thought they had coerced and helped a few people. They ordered their 50,000-strong army to immediately march and make sure to reach Pengcheng city today, but this command made Shi Bao and his companions somewhat worried. At this speed, it wouldn't be a problem to get to Pengcheng city today, but what about after that? Leaving aside the question of whether we can capture it for now, if you rush to the city, the soldiers will be exhausted. However, if the Xuzhou army waits for work, the Yellow Turban army is likely to be defeated. Moreover, Su He and Sima Zhu pay no attention to their surroundings, and if they are suddenly ambushed, I'm afraid the Yellow Turban army will have no defense capability at this moment. Sima Zhu and Su He had completely disregarded it and were completely overwhelmed, only thinking about the gold and silver treasures in Pengcheng, and at this moment, the Yellow Turban army marched towards a forest. Suddenly, several sharp arrows were shot out of the nearby forest with a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Su He and Sima were panicked and could only shout helplessly, searching for the enemy. At this moment, an infantry soldier rushed out of the forest, and the leader shouted, Yanzhou is full of joy and humility. We have been waiting here for a long time. Chapter 10. The Battle of Heimdal by 4 Marshals, Part 1. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. I saw Lu Jin charging his gun straight into the Yellow Turban Army formation, and another person turned out from behind the Yellow Turban Army, which was Zhang Ba. In this way, the two armies worked together to encircle the front of the Yellow Turban Army, causing the front troops of the Yellow Turban Army to clash left and right, but to no avail. After seeing this, Su He felt very anxious in his heart, and he also regretted coming over so recklessly. But now that the matter has come to an end, what's the use of saying these things? So Su He wielded his sword to fight against Zhang Ba, wanting to pay for his own mistake. Ding, Su He activates the skill, Knife General. Every time Su He uses a knife weapon, his strength will increase by 1. Su He's current strength is 80. It was detected that Su He is using a knife weapon, and the skill was successfully activated. His current strength is 81. Ding, Zhang Ba activates the skill, Blade King. Every time Zhang Ba uses a blade weapon, his strength will increase by 2. Zhang Ba's current strength is 92. It is detected that Zhang Ba is using a blade weapon, and the skill is successfully activated. His current strength is 94. At the moment when the two swords collided, there was a considerable spark, but the difference in military strength between Zhang Ba and Su He was not insignificant. Immediately, Zhang Ba sold a loophole and let Su He strike with his sword. However, Zhang Ba took advantage of this moment and beheaded Su He with one strike. After seeing Su He's death, Sima couldn't help but tremble and retreated to the center of the Yellow Turban Army, hoping for a miracle to come on the rear side of the Yellow Turban Army. Due to a conflict between Sima Ju and Su He from the front and Shirbao, they sent these 4 people to the back. However, fortunately, they did so. Otherwise, the front would not be an ambush and there was a high possibility of being defeated and winning. But when Shirbao and his companions heard the sound of fighting ahead, they immediately quickened their pace and wanted to support the front army, but were blocked by 2 strong men. It was Heimdal and Jianwei. At this time, Shirbao's face was solemn, and the most worried thing was that something had happened. If the rear army and the front army were cut off, then the 20,000 elite army of the front army would surely be completely destroyed. Heimdal said, "General Jianwei, these 4 people will be handed over to me. General Jianwei can go to the front army." Jianwei nodded and agreed, then walked towards the direction of the front army of the Yellow Turban Army. Upon hearing this, Xiao Ran, one of the 4 generals with the most irritable temper, became furious and launched a gun into battle. After all, as a general, being looked down upon by others is a great insult. Xingfang, Shirbao, and Deng Yuanjue looked at each other and then came to fight against him one after another. Although it was not honorable to bully the less with more, who would still speak of benevolence, righteousness, and morality on the battlefield. Ding, Xiao Ran activates the skill, Gun King. Every time Xiao Ran uses a gun weapon, his strength will increase by 2. Xiao Ran's current strength is 97. It is detected that Xiao Ran is using a gun weapon, and the skill is successfully activated. His current strength is 99. Ding, the Xingfang uses the skill, Spear King. Every time the Xingfang uses a gun-type weapon, the force will increase by 2. The current force of the Xingfang is 96. It has been detected that the Xingfang is using a gun-type weapon, and the skill has been successfully activated. The current force is 98. Ding, Deng Yuanjue activates the skill, Wand King. Every time Deng Yuanjue uses a cane weapon, his strength will increase by 2. Deng Yuanjue's current strength is 97. It is detected that Deng Yuanjue is using a cane weapon. Zhengguang Hun Tai Chan Staff, Strength +1, the skill is successfully activated, and his current strength is 99, 100. Ding, Shirbao activates the skill, Blade King. Every time Shirbao uses a blade weapon, his strength will increase by 2. Shirbao's current strength is 97. It is detected that Xiao is using a blade weapon, such as the wind-splitting blade, Force +1, Meteor Hammer, Force +1. The skill is successfully activated, and his current strength is 99, 101. Ding, Heimdal launches a skill called Sword God. Whenever Heimdal uses a sword weapon, his strength will increase by 3. Heimdal's current strength is 107, and it has been detected that Heimdal is using a sword weapon. The skill is successfully launched, and the current strength is 110, 113. As soon as the 4 generals of the Yellow Turban army rushed forward, they activated their weapon techniques, and Heimdal did not dare to be careless, so he also activated his weapon techniques. The first person to confront Heimdal was Xiao Ran, who was at the forefront. Xiao Ran first stabbed Heimdal with a gun, and Heim immediately drew his sword back to defend. At the moment of the collision, there was a sound of metal collision, and Xiao Ran's arms were numb from the shock, but immediately, Xiao, Si Xingfang, and Deng Yuanjue, the 3 generals, also came. Deng Yuanjue first lifted his Zen cane and kicked the horse's leg. Heimdal saw this and quickly lifted his horse's hooves to avoid the blow. However, immediately, Xiao Ran and Xiao wielded 2 large swords, causing Heimdal to draw his sword back to block. As a result, Heimdal was extremely frustrated by these 4 generals. If they fought normally, these 4 were not Heimdal's opponents, but now the key is to fight 4 times. Whenever Heimdal wants to focus on solving one person, the others come and cause trouble. At this moment, Heimdal became extremely impatient and said, not bad. The 4 of you were able to fight me back and forth. The force is indeed good, but it should be over. After hearing Heimdal's words, Xiao and his 4 companions were full of energy. After all, they knew that Heimdal was going to take it seriously. Ding, Heimdal activates the second skill, Watch, seeing from all directions, hearing from all directions, everything in one's eyes is exactly the same. Effect 1. Take action with Force +7. Effect 2. Heimdal can listen to all directions. If the opponent launches a weapon skill, it will seal the opponent's weapon skill, and its own force will be increased by 5, suppressing the opponent's force by 3 points. Effect 3. Heimdal is able to observe all directions and is not affected by the commander's skills. He is not affected by the suppression effect. If the opponent's basic force is higher than his own, he suppresses 3 points of force and his own force is +4. If the opponent's basic force is lower than his own force is +5. Effect 4. When Heimdal sees a giant breaking into the divine kingdom of Asgard, he will sound this horn to warn the gods. If the opponent's strength exceeds 90, all of his own generals will use force +3, including himself, and he will go to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to suppress the opponent's 4 points of force. Whenever more than 3 people receive a bonus, Heimdal's force +3. Ding, it has been detected that Xian Xiao and 4 others are using weapon techniques. The basic strength of the 4 is lower than that of Heimdal, and their strength exceeds 90. 4 of them have received bonuses, and the Heimdal effect of 1, 2, 3, and 4 has been activated. Heimdal's current strength is 133, 136, Zhongba's force increased to 95, Lu Jin's force has increased to 98, Jian Wei's force increased to 108, Xiao, Xiao Ran, Deng Yuanjue, and Xingfang's weapon skills were sealed, and their force was suppressed by 5 points. Xiao's force decreased to 90, 92, Li Tianruan's force decreased to 90, Deng Yuanjue's force decreased to 90, 91, and Xingfang's force decreased to 89. With the activation of the Watch skill, Heimdal swept away his previous decline and began to crazily attack the 4 generals of the Yellow Turban army. Moreover, even the strongest of the 4 generals, Xiao and Heimdal, were exactly 42 points behind each other. You've been bullying me too much, Deng Yuanjue let out a roar, and Heimdal could also feel that Deng Yuanjue's strength had increased. Ding, it has been detected that Deng Yuanjue has activated the second skill, Light Treasure Tathagata. Carrying immense strength, brave and unstoppable. Effect 1. Start force +4. Effect 2. When facing a basic force higher than one's own general, use force plus 4, and when facing a basic force lower than one's own general, use force plus 3 effect 3. When facing a strong enemy, use force plus 5, and during infantry combat, use force plus 4, ding. It has been detected that Heimdal's basic military strength is higher than Deng Yuanzhue's, and Heimdal is a strong enemy fighting against Deng Yuanzhue's infantry. Deng Yuanzhue has launched 1, 2, and 3 attacks, and the current military strength is 107, 108. As Deng Yuanzhue activated his skills, it also gave the other 3 generals a chance to catch their breath.